Yes, that's right. I currently have 21 Titans, which... Hold on, let me check my notes here. I should not be having... Apparently the game says that I'm only allowed 5? Here at Spec Labs, we are always on the lookout for the latest and greatest advances in breaking a game. Now, some of our greatest achievements were destroying any sense of continuity within Baldur's Gate 2. Of course, unlimited free pops in Stellaris, running an entire economy off of wood chips, and of course, endless roller coasters. But we're not done yet. Oh no, science will continue onwards into the future. So I've sent the researchers back into the lab just to find yet another great little game-breaking mechanic within Stellaris. Now, apparently the developers over at Paradox must be really happy having their game broken all the time, because they keep on sending me these letters asking me to knock it off. So, but yeah, science breaks for no one. Now, after putting all the game mechanics under a microscope, tearing the game script apart, and doing some very intense science, we finally got one, gentlemen. We got a eureka moment. Now, of course, we're going to need to assemble ourselves a little bit of an empire. Now, I've taken the United Nations of Earth and turned them into the Dominion of Earth, because let's be honest here, if we're not autocrats in space, we're not gonna survive through the Dark Forest. All the other alien empires out there are going to try to kill us. Everybody knows about this, therefore, it's all about autocracy in this particular case. Why? Well, we're playing as Hegemon. You can easily pull this one off with any of the other Federation types as well. But Hegemon, you start off with a Federation right at the start of the game. And it does allow you to have a couple of very, very interesting little quirks. And we'll just dive right in. Oh, what a beautiful start there is our home world of Earth. Oh, it is a glorious planet, isn't it? Look at that, completely unscathed by global warming, and apparently the Sahara still has not gone green in this world, but that's not what we're going to be talking about this time around. No, we've got the joys of this here Federation, or specifically hegemony, yes, I can still not pronounce it properly, that is sitting around here. And this hegemony is going to make us extremely powerful, not in a sense of territory, not in a sense of diplomatic power, no, in a sense of ships. So we're going to need to do a couple of things here immediately. We're going to need to change some laws. First of all, we're going to change the succession term to 40 whenever we can. Actually, we can just turn it to 20 right now. In the updated version of the game, I'm currently not playing on the latest patch. This will already be set by default, and later on we can just squeeze it into 40 years or something along those lines. But diplomatic weight, obviously, right now is a bit of a problem because the state of Alpha Centauri is stronger than us. However, we are the bossmen in this particular federation, which means that we can just swap rules around. I'm also going to assign a couple of my envoys here. Apparently I have 6 because I am the leader of this here federation, and on top of that we get a bunch of cool ethics. But now we just have to wait a little bit because, well, let's put it this way, we're going to need to play with a couple of Federation mechanics that may or may not be the most straightforward. Now we're going to need to make a couple of very important decisions at the start of the game, and one of those things is the layout of the buildings on our planet. Now, we could choose between a research lab and a alloy foundry. Now, the alloy foundry will obviously give us more alloys, and right now we got plus 14s, which is perfectly fine. So we're just going to go down the tech route in this particular case. We're just going to get research labs. And you may be wondering, okay, that's an interesting choice. Why are you going to try to tech so fast? Oh, don't you worry. There's a good reason behind this. Now, I've come at a little bit of an impasse. There's not a lot of area that I can expand into, or that I would want to expand into, because my allies are, of course, needing to expand as well. But we got this handy-dandy little Hauer system over here, and yes, that does not seem like that it is a great place to be, but it does have a little bit of territory in it, and I would like it. Now, it is named after Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner fame. He was also in The Room, apparently. No, not that The Room. Apparently, it's a Dutch short film from 2000. No, No, sadly, not that room. Still, though, it's nice that there's a little beacon, a little memorial to this great actor in the game. So I guess that's nice, but that's not what we're going to be talking about because there is aliens in there and we can't really get rid of them. Now, because we are the Federation leader, we got all of these handy dandy little ships that are given to us by the Federation members. Not so much given to us because they do cycle between the different leaders, but we've got 20 years of time until we are no longer the leader, at least until I start messing around with the laws within the Federation again, because don't you worry, we will definitely do that. But as you can see, our Federation fleet is just happily moving along and just jumping in there to take down these here robot ships, I guess they are. Regardless, they're gonna die really quickly. So that's one of the big bonuses of being a Federation leader. You get all of these cool ships, and of course there's a certain cap to that as well. So here you go, yeah, they've managed to kill the robots. So let's take a look a little bit deeper here at these ships and what their function is and how they actually work. So we can go into this interface for the Federation here, and we can see that there are currently 14 ships within this Federation fleet design. We can always increase it if we want to by adding more capacity to this Federation fleet. But overall, you know, there's 14 ships that can be in this particular fleet. So let's go quickly into the ship designer. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We've got a couple of small mass drivers and a couple of lasers, etc. So it's pretty decent. It's pretty cool. I like this design. It's cool. Can we add anything of our own? No, not really, because, well, actually, we can add the ceramo metal armor on top of it. We'll just save it and then take it from there. That's nice. We'll just send this fleet home and then tell you what, the science ship over here is just gonna go and check out this here system and also excavate the archaeological site. But we're not done with this here Federation fleet because our allies are continuously building new ships for our Federation ships. Their fleet, there you go. There's just another one being thrown in. Oh, they're just beavering away at all these new ships that are being made for our glorious Federation. I'm very proud of them indeed. They're almost done. I'm really curious on how this is going to turn out because clearly at some point I will no longer be Federation president. Of course I will be, but there must be a way to keep these ships, right? Now, I am a very, very busy man in space, and it has mostly to do with the fact that, well, I got an empire to run. I don't have time to build a fleet. Oh, man, that's way too much of a hassle. So, I've also not really set up my economy to build all that many alloys anyway, so I couldn't even afford a fleet if I wanted to. Let's take a quick look here at our first fleet and be like, yeah, well, I guess we could just set things up here and just add 20 ships, but that would cost us 1,600 alloys. We don't have 1,600 alloys. Where would we get 1,600 alloys from? Of course, we could go to Spiff and say, thanks, buddy, for that exploit that you showed off the other day. Was gonna do it myself, but hey, thanks anyway. Have a view. But yeah, in addition, though, there is this other fleet over here. There's this other fleet that is just sitting around my station. Now, right now, it is completely free because obviously it's not taking any upkeep, but it's almost at its max. Interesting. So what if we open it up in the fleet manager? We see that they're all the same fleet design. What about if we just change it to our own ship design? Yes. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And then we'll just upgrade all of these ships to that new ship design. There they go. They're all being upgraded right now. Oh, that's looking really good, guys. The upgrading is going nice and swimmingly. You see, right now we are doing something that the developers probably did not really expect, and that is changing the fleet design of the Federation ships to our own ships, which effectively makes them our own ship designs, which turns this particular fleet into a non-Federation fleet.
Research concluded.
And I merge it with my main fleet. And there you have it. I just got 11 ships for free. Oh yes, I just got 11 ships for free. Now, the good thing is, the other Federation members are just still happily and just beavering it away because they're like, hey, where did all those Federation ships go? The ones that we had before. Like, we have a maximum of 14. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where they went. They probably died in a horrible fire because our Federation leader needed them for something. That's okay. There's no oversight here. We'll just build more. We'll just build as many as we can, and it doesn't matter what he does with them. So what you can do in this particular case, you can basically go and say, hey, yeah, all those Federation ships, yeah, I'm just gonna turn them into my ships now. Okay, thanks. So this is Deborah. She works in the technology division here over at Spec Labs, and recently they found out that YouTube watch time is apparently really important when it comes to growing a channel, which is something that I'm really into because obviously Spec Labs wants to increase its basically its footprint within the world out there. So whilst I really appreciate you to subscribe because, you know, subscriptions is always really good and it does really make my ego grow even more than it already is, I would really appreciate it if you watched the whole video, because if you watch the whole video, it means more watch time, and more watch time means it gets presented to more people, which is something that I do adore quite a lot. Now, obviously, you've watched all the way here and you want to know, okay, so what are you going to do to make sure this watch time is worth my time? Well, there's Titan stuff coming up. How many of them would you like? Yeah, Technology Division agrees, because they've been badgering away at this one for quite some time. Now, we've moved the clock forward ever so slightly, and as you can see, this fleet is pretty decent. You know, it's got 11,000 fleet power, it's pretty nice, and as you can see, my own fleet only has a paltry 2.6k fleet power. And as you can see as well, if we look at our laws, oh my, we appear to be changing things around quite a lot, especially in fleet contribution, because everybody will now have to give their fleet contribution a little bit of a boost, which means that, there is quite a lot of ships in production right now. Actually, there's 287 fleet power worth of ships being designed. That's nice. That's nice. We could use a little bit more, though. We could definitely use a little bit more. So tell you what, all of these ships from this here one, yeah, we're just gonna go and turn them all into my ships instead. Yeah, so we're just gonna go and quickly upgrade this here fleet at our capital, and as we can see here, it should go quite swimmingly over here, as we are about to be the owners of a 11.7k fleet that we never even built. No, our allies were so kind to build this entire fleet from their shipyards. Now, I could hypothetically build them and then take them over later on, but why would I do such a thing? Being a Federation leader is amazing, because you will get free ships. You will never have to build a ship ever again, and tell you what, as soon as you've flipped over those ships, they'll just continue building the Federation fleet anyway. But there is more interesting ways of breaking this, because there are ships that you technically should not be having, and you totally can. Let's jump over towards the next scenario, where things get really crazy. So as you can see, we got a similar scenario over here. We got ourselves our battleships, as well as a couple of cruisers and destroyers. Actually, there's no cruisers here, just destroyers and corvettes, as well as battleships. But there seems to be something missing from this particular setup. Ah yes, it's the 3 Titans that the Federation gets by default because of the way the cap works on this fleet. Well, remember how we can steal ships from the Federation and the other empires built them for us? Yeah, this also applies to this particular case. allow me to quickly upgrade this here tiny fleet of Titans that I have over here, because we're going to go and flip them over to our side. They're going to be part of our wonderful new fleet that we're going to be designing. Thankfully, though, for the game's case, it's going to take a little while, like a year of in-game time, for them to finish this here upgrade. But still, you know, being able to flip Titans to your side is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. Man, I really think that some of the coders over at Paradox are going to be like, why didn't we think of this? How did we miss this particular scenario? Don't you worry, guys. I'm out here. I got your back covered. As the upgrade cycle comes to an end, it is kind of important to think by ourselves, you know what? We've got these 3 Titans that we didn't build ourselves. What are we gonna do with this? Well, we could potentially go with this here robot uprising and just use them for that. That'd be nice. But still, you know, what could we do with these Titans? We got 18 days remaining until they're done. Are we gonna keep them in our main fleet? Yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that. It's the 30,000 fleet power. I guess that's pretty cool. Tell you what, we're just gonna merge them together with these 7 other Titans that I have on standby here. Yes. Okay, so this fleet will now have 10 Titans inside of it, plus this other Titan fleet that also has about 11 more Titans in it. Yes, that's right. I currently have 21 Titans, which... Hold on, let me check my notes here. I should not be having... Apparently the game says that I'm only allowed 5? Ain't that just something? Ain't that just something indeed? Now, it would be a shame just to keep them, collecting dust, so we're just gonna casually jump them over towards this system over here, I guess, and see what we can do against this here robot uprising. Come on, robots! I'm sure that nothing terrible will happen here, especially when there is 21 Titans shooting at you. How many ships do you even have in that fleet? Yeah, I'm afraid that, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you are going to die a horrible death. Okay, so they are immediately in range, immediately shooting their perdition beams, and immediately absolutely devastating everything within sight. Yeah, this game has not been designed to have this many Titans in one fleet. Oh, by the way, there's the neutron torpedoes that will follow up on this. Oh dearie me, we are going to go for a full assault on these enemies, and they are going to be on the receiving end of a slight pounding. Now, whilst our neighbors and fellow members of the hegemony are too busy dealing with this here robot uprising, they can deal with themselves. I tell you what, we're just going to send our... I want to say, 33? No, more than that. No. It's actually 36 Titans into the fray here. So we're just going to declare war here against this here fallen empire if we can. Apparently, we're not allowed to at the moment. So let me just make a quick Rooney claim here. Actually, we'll just claim a bunch of their stuff because they're a fallen empire. What's the worst that they can do, right? All right, so let's declare a war against them. There we go. Total war. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a Colossus. So we're just gonna see what these Titans can do versus some fallen empire tech. You know, 36 of them, 36 Titans. That's about 10 times as many Titans as I'm technically allowed. Yeah. We'll just have to see how this is gonna end up. Well, here comes the Fallen Empire fleet. Let's see how their 16 battle cruisers will hold up versus a fleet of Titans. What other stuff do they have here? 36 destroyers or escorts? Well, we'll see how well they will fare against a crack team of partition beams that just basically ransack them completely. Oh my god. All those perdition beams are completely destroying anything that just comes in touch with these here battle cruisers, as well as all these proton torpedoes. Though the real question is, I don't think these Titans are going to hold up for that long, because as soon as the Fallen Empire fleet gets on top of them, they are going to lose quite a lot of firepower due to this perdition beams. Titans are not designed to fly by themselves, especially if you have a lot of them, which I clearly do right now, and they are not in a good spot. Oh boy, 300,000 fleet power versus 113. Well, still, you know, perdition beams are doing fine. But this obviously is not a very good setup here. Guess I should have stolen some more battleships instead. Grab a big old sticker and say, this is mine now. So there you have it, the joys of stealing Federation ships, and you will never have to build any ships yourselves ever again. And that right there is something that I can get behind. Also, infinite ships that you should not be having. Sadly, doesn't work for this here beauty of a juggernaut, but hey, what can one do? I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you like this sort of video, I've curated a couple of more that you can watch as well. Just be sure to click one of the images that is coming up at the end of this video, and there are more exploits for you to be seen. I also want to thank my patrons for making this video possible. If it wasn't for you, this video would not be made. So yeah, there you have it. If you want to get involved, go right ahead. There's a link in the description down below. We're gonna go and wrap it up here. Oh look, it's the videos that I was talking about. Why don't you go and click on one of those? And if you're a cool dude, subscriptions are also awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves and, as always, each other.